The movie opens with the heavy hum of a distant highway, the sound muffled by thick fog crawling across the city streets. A single streetlight flickers above a cracked sidewalk. The camera moves slowly downward and stops on a teenage girl walking alone. Her hoodie is torn at the sleeve. Her lip is bleeding. She keeps one arm wrapped around her stomach as she walks, wincing slightly with each step. This is Emily Harper, 17 years old, but with eyes that look far older, eyes that have seen too much. She carries a small backpack with a zipper half broken. The voiceover of her breathing is shaky, tired, uneven. Emily approaches an old payphone booth at the side of the road, its glass fogged up from the cold. She enters the booth, closes the door, and leans her forehead against the glass. Her hands tremble as she picks up the phone. She dials a number she knows by heart. She doesn't speak immediately, she just listens to the ringing. Cut to a small apartment across town. A phone sits on a cluttered kitchen counter, vibrating against a pile of envelopes. The room is dim, lit only by the soft glow from the living room TV. A man sits slouched on the couch, half asleep, the TV remote still in his hand. The man is Michael, mid-42s. Emily's father, unshaven, exhausted, and carrying the weight of 1,000 mistakes on his shoulders. The phone keeps ringing. Michael opens his eyes slowly, staring at the caller ID. No number. Unknown. He hesitates. His thumb hovers over the green button. The ringing stops. Cut back to Emily in the booth. She closes her eyes. A single tear falls. She tries again. The phone rings. Michael stares at the phone again. His face tightens. This time he answers. Hello? There is a long silence. The only sound is Emily's shaky breathing. Hello? Michael repeats. Emily finally forces herself to speak, though her voice barely comes out. Dad, please. I need help. Michael sits up instantly, wide awake. Emily? Emily, is that you? Emily, talk to me, where are you? Before she can answer, a shadow moves in the fog behind the booth. Emily gasps. Someone grabs the door handle. She drops the phone. Emily! Emily! But the line goes dead. Michael jumps from the couch, grabs his jacket, and rushes out of the apartment. Michael's truck speeds through the wet streets, windshield wipers scraping fast. His hands grip the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles go white. The city lights smear across the glass like streaks of neon. His breath is shaking, half panic, half rage at himself. He whispers to no one, I'm coming, baby. I'm coming. His mind flashes with memories, Emily as a child, Emily laughing, Emily in her school uniform. Then darker memories. The courtroom, the custody papers, the day she chose to stay with her mother instead of him, the years they spent apart, the messages she never replied to. The guilt is suffocating, but the only thing that matters now is finding her. He arrives at the payphone booth. The glass door is open, swinging slightly in the wind. He steps inside. Emily's phone lies on the ground, its screen cracked. He picks it up and holds it to his chest. Emily, what happened to you? He lowers himself onto the bench inside the booth, hands shaking. The entire booth smells like rain and fear. He opens her phone. No battery. Nothing. Completely dead. He looks around. The fog is thick. The street is silent. Then he notices something on the ground. Drops of blood leading away from the booth, small but unmistakable. His heartbeat accelerates. He follows them. The blood trail ends at tire marks, fresh ones cut sharply into the wet pavement. Whoever took her drove off fast. Michael looks up helplessly, devastated, then his jaw hardens. No! No, damn it! I won't lose her again! He returns to his truck and speeds off toward the nearest police station. Inside the brightly lit police station, officers move around with purpose. Phones ring. Papers shuffle. Doors open and close. Michael enters with a burst of panic and purpose. He approaches the front desk. I need to speak to someone. My daughter has been taken. The officer behind the desk looks up slowly. Sir, calm down. What's your daughter's name? Emily Harper, 17. She called me from a payphone. Someone grabbed her. The officer takes notes, typing quickly. Do you have any information? A suspect? A vehicle? No. Just, please, help me. Before the officer can respond, another door opens and a teenage girl is escorted inside by two officers. Michael turns. His breath catches. It's Emily. But not like before. Her left cheek is bruised. Her hoodie is stained with blood. Her hair is tangled. And one of her wrists is zip-tied to a metal railing on the bench where they make detainees wait. Michael's knees nearly buckle. Emily? She looks up slowly. Her eyes widen in shock. Dad? He rushes to her. But an officer steps in front of him. Sir, you need to stay back. She's my daughter. We know who she is. She was brought in for being involved in a disturbance. We're still investigating. Michael looks at Emily. What happened? Who did this to you? Emily wants to speak, but fear locks her throat. Her eyes dart toward the officers. Then she just shakes her head. Michael turns to the officer. Take that zip tie off her. Sir, she's not under arrest. It's just procedure. She's bleeding, she's terrified, and she's 17. Take it off. Emily whispers, barely audible. Dad, please, don't yell. Michael freezes. His chest heaves. He sits beside her on the bench, close enough that she can lean her head on his shoulder. He doesn't touch her, yet he's afraid she might break. But she leans into him anyway, and it destroys him. Emily is taken to a small room. Michael follows insistently until they finally allow him inside. The door closes. The room is cold, lit by a single buzzing fluorescent light overhead. Emily sits at the metal table. Michael sits across from her. For a long moment, neither speaks. Then Michael breaks the silence gently. Emily, what happened? Emily stares at her hands. I didn't do anything wrong, Dad. I swear. They think I did, but I didn't. Then tell me. Please. She hesitates, afraid of the truth, of being judged, of the consequences. Michael reaches his hand across the table slowly. You called me for help. That means something. Trust me. Her lower lip trembles. I ran away. From Mom's house. Her boyfriend came home drunk. He got angry, and I tried to leave. And he... She flinches, gripping her hoodie near the bloodstain. Michael's eyes burn with fury. He hurt you? She nods, tears falling. And then some guys saw me on the street and tried to take my bag. I ran. I hid in the phone booth. I called you. But before you answered, someone tried to open the door. Michael wipes a tear from her cheek with his thumb. You're safe now, Emily whispers. No, I'm not. Michael stands, pacing. That man, her mother's boyfriend, I'll deal with him myself. Emily's eyes widen. No, Dad, please, don't get arrested. I need you. Right now more than ever. Michael stops. Those words hit him harder than any punch. All the years of distance between them suddenly feel fragile, breakable, like maybe he still has a chance to be her father again. He sits beside her again. I'm not losing you. Not again. If I have to fight the whole world to keep you safe, I will. Emily leans her head on his shoulder. You came for me. Even after everything. Michael puts his arm gently around her. I'll always come for you. Fade out on this moment, father and daughter sitting together in the small interrogation room, broken but finally reunited. The sun rises slowly over the city, casting muted orange light through the high windows of the police station. The night's chaos still hangs heavy in the air. Officers sip coffee, type reports, and move papers around like another routine morning except for one corner of the building where everything feels heavy, personal, and fragile. Michael sits beside Emily, who is now wrapped in a gray blanket one of the officers gave her. Her eyes are swollen from crying, her hair still tangled, and her hands haven't stopped trembling since she arrived. She looks so small on the hard metal bench, like a child trapped in a world too cruel for her. Michael speaks softly. Tell them, sweetheart. Tell them everything. I'm right here. Emily grips his hand, holding on to it like it's the only thing keeping her from drowning. A detective walks in, Detective Carter. Mid-50 seconds, calm, patient, with kind eyes that have seen too many broken kids and too many broken families. He kneels in front of Emily, not towering over her, but leveling himself with her like she's a human being, not a case. Carter gently asks, "Emily, can you tell me what happened at your mother's house?" Emily's breathing becomes thin. Michael squeezes her hand. Emily nods slowly, gathering the courage she never had before. Emily stares at the floor, her voice barely above a whisper. "It started 2 nights ago. Mom's boyfriend, Rick, got drunk again. He always does. But this time, it was worse." She pauses, swallowing hard, like each memory is a blade she's forced to hold. "He came home angry. He said I was talking back, that I needed to be taught a lesson. Mom tried to stop him, but he shoved her aside. He came into my room. He grabbed my wrist, pushed me onto the bed." Michael's jaw tightens. His fist curls, knuckles whitening. Detective Carter steps in gently. "Did he hit you?" Emily nods once, quickly, as if admitting it makes it hurt more. "Yes, he hit me. Twice. Then he took my phone. He said I wasn't going anywhere. Said the house was his rules." She wipes a tear with the corner of her sleeve. "I waited until he passed out. Mom was crying in the hall. She told me to run. Just run and don't look back. So I grabbed my hoodie and I did." Michael can't hold it in anymore. He stands up abruptly, pacing the small room. "That bastard! I told her to leave him. I told her." Emily flinches at his anger. Michael immediately stops, breathes deeply, and returns to her side. "I'm sorry. I'm not angry at you. Never at you." Detective Carter nods. "What happened after you left?" Emily continues. "I started walking, then running. I didn't know where to go. I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to call you, but I didn't know who else to trust anymore." Michael's eyes shine with emotion. "You did the right thing, baby. You called me." Emily gives a small, broken smile. Emily continues, her voice becoming fragile. "When I got near the old motel, a group of guys saw me. They were laughing, pointing. I think they were drunk too. They started walking faster. I tried to cross the street, but they followed me." She hugs herself tightly. "One of them tried to grab my backpack. I pushed him and ran. That's when I found the phone booth. I locked myself in and called you." Michael closes his eyes, imagining her trapped, alone, terrified. "But then," she whispers, "someone tried to open the door. I thought it was them. I panicked and dropped the phone. I didn't even see who it was." Detective Carter writes everything down carefully. "Emily, you're safe now, and we're going to take this seriously." Emily finally raises her eyes. "No one ever takes it seriously." The door opens. Another officer enters, Officer Daniels, stern, skeptical. He looks at Emily. "Young lady, we still need to talk about the convenience store incident. Witnesses said you were involved." Michael snaps. "What incident?" Daniels flips through his notes. "Store clerk reported a disturbance. A girl matching her description was seen running out. Shelves were knocked over." Emily shakes her head violently. "No, that wasn't me, I swear! I ran past the store, yes, but I didn't go inside." Daniels looks unconvinced. "She's traumatized," Michael says sharply. "She ran from danger, not into it." Detective Carter steps in. "Daniels, that can wait. She needs medical attention." Daniels mutters something under his breath but leaves. Emily's breathing is uneven again. "Dad, they think I'm lying." Michael cups her face gently. "I know the truth, and that's enough." But deep inside, Michael knows something. When you're poor, broken, and scared, the world thinks you're guilty before proven innocent. Emily is taken to the hospital for examination. Michael walks beside her as paramedics load her into an ambulance. She sits inside with a blanket wrapped around her knees. She refuses to close her eyes. Inside the ER, doctors examine her bruises, take photographs for evidence, ask her questions she barely has the energy to answer. Michael watches everything. hatred building in his chest toward the man who did this to her. A nurse presses gently on Emily's ribs. She winces. You have bruising here. Maybe cracked ribs. We'll do an x-ray. Emily nods weakly. The nurse also points to thin red marks on Emily's wrists. These didn't come from the zip ties. Emily looks away, ashamed. I didn't do that to myself. Rick grabbed me. The nurse exchanges a serious look with Michael. Michael's heart feels like it's tearing apart. When Emily is finally alone for a moment, Michael steps into the corner of the room, his head in his hands. He whispers to himself, I should have been there. I should have known. I should have fought harder for custody. I let her grow up in hell. His voice cracks. I failed her. Emily, weak but alert, hears him. She turns her head slowly. Dad, come here. He does. She reaches her hand out. Stop blaming yourself. Mom, she pushed you away. She told me you didn't want me. Michael's eyes fill with pure shock. What? She said you were too busy. That you didn't care. Michael sits heavily on the edge of the bed. Emily, listen to me. I never stopped caring. Not one day. Not 1 hour. I wanted to be there every minute of your life. Emily's chin trembles. I know that now. Because you came. She places her hand on his. You came when I needed you most. Michael closes his eyes as silent tears fall. Detective Carter arrives with updates. We found the motel security footage. 3 adult males were seen following a girl matching Emily's description. We're putting out warrants. Michael clenches his jaw. What about Rick? Carter nods. We're sending units to the house. If he hurt her, he'll be arrested tonight. Emily closes her eyes in relief, but also fear of what comes next. Carter turns to Emily. You're not in trouble, Emily. Not anymore. You're a victim, and we're treating you like one. Emily whispers. People like me don't get justice. Carter kneels beside her again. You will, because you deserve it. A soil worker named Linda arrives kind but formal, her notebook ready. Emily, because you're a minor, we need to discuss temporary placement. Michael stiffens. She's coming home with me. Linda sighs. Mr. Harper, legally, you don't have custody. Michael stands. I'm her father, Linda knows, and that matters. But the court needs to approve temporary placement first. Emily grips Michael's hand, panicked. No, I'm not going back to Mom. Please, please don't make me go back. Linda softens. No one is sending you back there tonight, I promise. For now, you'll stay in protective care until the judge signs the paperwork. Michael's anger flares. So she gets rescued. And then taken away from me again? Linda replies calmly. This is protocol, not punishment. Emily begins crying again, exhausted. I just want to stay with my dad. Please. Michael pulls her into his chest. You will, I swear it. The scene ends with Michael sitting beside his daughter's hospital bed as she sleeps for the first time in 2 days. He watches her breathe, every rise and fall of her chest reminding him why he's here. He whispers to himself, You're safe now, but I'm not done. I'm going to get you out of this broken system. I'm going to make them hear you. The camera slowly zooms out of the hospital room. The storm outside grows louder. Because Michael's real fight. The night outside the hospital has darkened into a heavy storm. Rain hammers against the windows, creating a relentless rhythm that fills the silent hallways. The fluorescent lights flicker occasionally, giving the place an uneasy, haunted feeling. Michael sits in the plastic chair beside Emily's bed. She's finally asleep, curled beneath a hospital blanket, her face still swollen, with faint purple shadows blooming around her eyes. Michael doesn't blink. He watches her breathe, every inhale a reminder of how close he came to losing her. He whispers to himself, I'm not letting the system take her. Not again. Not ever. Scene 2. The call from the past. Michael's phone buzzes on the armrest. Caller ID. Sarah. Emily's mom. He stares at it, hatred burning like acid in his chest. He lets it ring. It rings again. And again. And again. Finally, he answers. Her voice comes through ragged, panicked, slightly slurred. Where is she? Michael? Where is Emily? Michael's tone is ice. You don't get to know that right now. Don't play games with me. Where is my daughter? Michael stands, pacing the dark room. Your boyfriend beat her. She ran away bleeding. She called me at midnight from a phone booth because she thought she was going to die. Silence. Then loud breathing. That's not what happened. Michael stops walking. So what happened, Sarah? Go ahead. Lie again. She pushes him. She screams at him. She starts things. You know how she is. Michael feels the rage rising like fire under his skin. She's a child. And you let a monster put his hands on her. Sarah snaps back, voice breaking. Don't you dare judge me, Michael. You walked away. Michael closes his eyes tightly. I didn't walk away. You pushed me out. You told the courts I was unstable, remember? You said I was dangerous. You said I couldn't provide stability. Sarah sobs. I didn't know what to do back then. I was scared. Okay? Michael hears the truth beneath her words. She was scared of losing control, scared of losing custody, scared Emily would choose him. He ends the call. Not yelling, not crying, just done. The hospital room door opens. Detective Carter enters quietly, rain dripping from his coat. He holds a file. Michael, we arrested Rick. Michael's chest tightens. You got him. Carter nods. He was drunk, hands bruised, a broken lamp at the house. Your ex-wife? She claimed. Nothing happened. Michael laughs bitterly. Of course she did. Carter sets the file on the bedside table. I'm recommending an emergency protective order. Against Rick. Against the mom, too, until we investigate properly. Michael sighs. Relief and fear intertwining. Thank you. Carter hesitates. There's more. He opens the file, revealing photographs, bruises, broken furniture, signs of long-term abuse. Michael feels bile rise in his throat. How long? How long has this been happening? Carter's voice lowers. These injuries didn't all come from last night. The room grows colder, much colder. Michael sits back in the chair, hands shaking. He whispers, She never told me. She never told anyone. Carter rests a hand on Michael's shoulder. She told you tonight. That matters. Michael looks at his daughter, sleeping, unaware of how large the truth truly is. Morning creeps in slowly. Emily wakes to soft sunlight, and Michael holding her hand. She whispers, Dad? Are you still here? I'm not going anywhere. A knock. The door opens. Social worker Linda enters, holding paperwork and wearing a professional smile that almost feels polite but distant. We need to talk about placement. Michael stiffens. No. She's going home with me. Linda sighs quietly. Mr. Harper, the mother still has full custody, and her boyfriend nearly killed my daughter. Linda hesitates, then nods. Which is why we're requesting emergency temporary placement with you, if the judge signs off. Emily's eyes widen in hope. When will that be? She asks quietly. Linda flips through her folder. The hearing is in 2 hours. Michael exclaims, 2 hours? That's too soon. She's not even stable yet. Linda shakes her head. This is how it works. Fast, messy, chaotic. But if the mother fights it, Emily may end up in a temporary care facility until the case is reviewed. Emily's heart drops. No, 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 please, not that. Please don't send me away. I want to stay with my dad. Michael pulls her close. You'll stay with me, I promise. Linda clears her throat gently. Then be ready. Because Sarah is already challenging the placement. Michael freezes. She is what? Linda closes the file. She's claiming you're emotionally unstable. She's requesting Emily be placed with her sister instead. Emily gasps. No! Aunt Carla hates me. She said I'm too much trouble. Linda sighs. This is exactly why the judge needs both sides. Michael stands, fire in his eyes. Fine. Then let's go. I'm not letting them take her again. The family court building is cold, gray, and unwelcoming. Rain pours down the glass windows like tears. The hallways echo with shoes, whispers, and lives hanging by threads. Emily holds Michael's hand tightly as they enter a small courtroom. Sarah is already inside, wearing makeup that poorly hides a sleepless night. She avoids eye contact with Emily. On the opposite side sits Aunt Carla, arms crossed, jaw clenched. Emily whispers, trembling, "Dad, don't let them take me." Michael kneels beside her. They won't. Emily sits in the witness seat, hands shaking. The judge, a stern woman with silver hair, watches her closely. "Emily, do you feel safe with your father?" Emily nods instantly. "He came for me when no one else did. He didn't yell. He didn't blame me. He believed me." Sarah speaks up, voice sharp. "She's a child, Your Honor. She's confused. She doesn't understand what she's saying." Emily turns to her mother, eyes full of pain. "I understand enough to know you didn't protect me." Sarah's shoulders stiffen. Emily continues, "You always said Rick would get better. You always said he didn't mean to hurt me. But he did. Over and over. And you saw it." Sarah starts crying, but Emily doesn't break. "I love you, Mom. But I'm done pretending everything's okay." The judge watches closely. Carter testifies next, presenting photos, medical reports, and police records. Aunt Carla tries to interrupt, but the judge shuts her down. When Michael finally speaks, he keeps his voice steady. "I'm not perfect, but I'm here. I've always been here. All I want is to protect my daughter." The judge leans forward. "And will you respect all court orders? No interference? No retaliation?" Michael nods. "As long as she's safe and loved, yes." Everyone stands. The judge reads from her papers. "Given the evidence of abuse, neglect, and endangerment, I am granting temporary sole custody to the father." Emily gasps. Her eyes fill instantly with tears. The judge continues. "Visitation with the mother is suspended, pending further investigation. The minor will remain with the father effective immediately." Emily throws her arms around Michael. He holds her tighter than he ever has. Sarah collapses into her chair, sobbing angrily. Aunt Carla storms out, slamming the door. But none of that matters, because for the first time in years, Emily is safe. Michael brings Emily home. The house is small, warm, peaceful. Nothing fancy, nothing loud, just safe. Emily walks into her new room. Soft lights, blankets, pillows, space to breathe. She turns to Michael. "You really want me here?" Michael kneels, looking straight into her eyes. "Honey, this is where you were always meant to be." Emily hugs him, burying her face in his chest. "I don't want to go back to that house ever again." "You won't." Lightning flashes outside. A new storm begins. But inside this home, there is quiet. There is peace. There is healing. The next morning arrives with a heavy, suffocating silence that fills Marcus's house like a poison. The storm has passed outside, but inside, the atmosphere feels darker than ever. Emily is asleep on the couch, curled under a blanket Marcus placed over her last night. Her breathing is shaky, uneven, her body still recovering from the trauma and shock of the arrest. Marcus sits at the kitchen table, staring down at a cup of untouched coffee. His hands tremble not out of fear, but out of a rage that has been building for years. The events of last night have ripped open wounds he thought he had learned to ignore. After a long minute, he takes a deep breath and whispers to himself, "Enough. This time, it ends." As the morning sunlight begins creeping into the living room, Emily opens her eyes slowly. She looks around, disoriented, then sees Marcus sitting silently, shoulders heavy with thought. She doesn't speak. She doesn't have the strength. Quietly, she pulls her knees to her chest and simply watches him. Marcus finally notices her awake and gives her a soft, exhausted smile. one filled with sadness and a fragile hope that maybe, somehow, he can fix all of this. He walks over and kneels beside her. "Did you sleep at all?" he asks gently. Emily shrugs, looking down. Her voice cracks when she speaks. I don't know." Marcus touches her shoulder lightly, not wanting to overwhelm her. "You're safe here. No one can hurt you now." After breakfast, though, Emily eats almost nothing. They sit down in the living room. Marcus knows there is something she hasn't told him. Something big. He has seen this look before. Years ago, when she was a small child trying to hide the bruises her father caused. He waits patiently, giving her space. Emily finally exhales shakily and whispers, "There's something I didn't say at the station." Marcus's heart freezes. She picks at the sleeve of her hoodie, fingers trembling. When Dad came home yesterday, he wasn't just angry. He was drunk. Really drunk. And he kept saying I ruined his life, that I didn't deserve to be his daughter. Her voice quivers. "He said he'd make sure I never talk to you again." Marcus feels a wave of nausea roll through him. He clenches his jaw to stop his hands from shaking. Emily continues, tears forming in her eyes. He wasn't going to let me leave. When he grabbed me, I thought he was going to." She can't finish the sentence. Marcus has to look away for a moment, because the image alone makes his chest burn with rage. He takes a slow breath and asks calmly, "Emily, why didn't you tell the officers this?" She wipes her eyes. "Because Dad told them I attacked him, and they believed him, like always." Marcus sits silently for a long moment, absorbing every detail. Something finally snaps inside him, not uncontrolled anger, but a cold, focused determination. "Emily," he says, voice steady, "I'm done letting him hurt you." She looks at him, confused, as he gets up and grabs his jacket. "Where are you going?" she asks, panic rising. Marcus turns to her with a look she's never seen before, sharp, controlled, dangerous. To do what the police should have done years ago. He leaves the house and drives straight to his old neighborhood, the one he swore he'd never return to. Emily's father's house stands at the end of the street like a decaying monument of every bad memory he has. The front yard is quiet, almost too quiet. Marcus steps out of the car, his fists tightening. Every part of him wants to break down that door, drag the man out, and make him face everything he's done. But Marcus forces himself to breathe. He isn't here to explode. He is here to end something that should have ended a long time ago, legally, permanently, completely. At that moment, the front door opens, and Emily's father appears. He is hungover, disheveled, and furious the moment his eyes meet Marcus. "You!" he spits. "This is all your fault. She's my daughter." Marcus walks closer, slowly, every step calculated. "She's a child," Marcus says coldly. "Not a punching bag." Emily's father laughs bitterly. "You think you can take her from me? You think she wants you?" Marcus doesn't respond. He simply stares him down with a look that shakes even the drunk man's confidence. But then it happens. Emily's father, still drunk and unstable, lunges forward, shoving Marcus in the chest. Marcus barely moves. Emily's father swings at him, wild and sloppy. Marcus catches his wrist mid-air. "This is who you are," he says quietly. "This is why she's terrified." Emily's father tries again, yelling incoherently, but Marcus releases him and steps back. He doesn't hit him. He doesn't retaliate. Instead, Marcus reaches into his jacket and pulls out his phone, recording everything. "You're going to jail," Marcus says flatly. "This time, you won't talk your way out." Back home, Emily anxiously paces the living room until Marcus returns. She runs to him as soon as he steps inside. "Did he hurt you?" she asks, panicked. Marcus shakes his head. "No, and he won't hurt you again." He shows her the video. Emily watches in silence, tears falling not out of sadness, but relief. For the first time in years, she sees someone stand up for her without hesitation. Someone who doesn't back down. Someone who chooses her. Marcus places a comforting hand on her shoulder. "We take this to court," he says softly. We take everything. We tell the judge the truth. All of it. Emily nods slowly, swallowing her fear. It won't be easy. It won't be quick. But for the first time, she feels like maybe, just maybe, she has a chance at a life that isn't controlled by fear. As the screen fades into the dim glow of evening settling outside Marcus's windows, the two of them sit together, no longer alone, no longer powerless. The storm that once threatened to break them has now formed something stronger. A bond forged in truth, pain, and the courage to finally fight back. The last shot lingers on Marcus's phone screen, still showing the video of Emily's father attacking him, proof that will change everything. The courthouse looms like a fortress under a gray morning sky. Marcus grips Emily's hand tightly as they walk through the tall doors. She is quiet, tense, yet a glimmer of hope shines in her swollen, tired eyes. Inside, the courtroom smells of polished wood, paper, and stale coffee. A place where truth is supposed to win, yet often doesn't. Sarah sits across the room, flanked by her sister Carla. Her face is pale, mascara streaked, yet she forces a stern expression, pretending control. Emily's father sits beside them, visibly nervous but still trying to appear composed. Marcus glances down at Emily. "Stay strong," he whispers. "I'm here. Always." The judge, a woman in her late 50s with steel gray hair and piercing eyes, enters and the room falls silent. She motions for everyone to be seated. The air is heavy with tension. Papers shuffle. Whispers die down. This is it, the moment where truth and fear collide. Emily is called to the stand. She steps up slowly, holding Marcus's hand briefly before letting go to face the room. Her voice quivers at first. I'm scared of going back," she begins. "I don't feel safe with my mother or Rick. He hurt me, and everyone believed he was the victim. No one believed me until now." Sarah interrupts, voice sharp. "She's confused. She's a child." Emily snaps, finding strength she didn't know she had. "I'm not confused. He hit me, he chased me, he tried to scare me, and I ran to my dad because he protects me." Gasps ripple across the courtroom. Marcus's eyes narrow at Sarah, who flinches under the weight of the truth. Detective Carter steps up next, presenting the evidence. Photographs, hospital records, videos of the attack, and police reports. Each piece lands like a hammer striking the judge's desk. "This is proof of long-term abuse," Carter states clearly. "Emily has been endangered repeatedly. Her father arrived immediately when she was in danger. He is the only adult in her life who has protected her consistently." The courtroom is silent. Carla mutters something under her breath, but the judge silences her with a sharp look. The judge turns to Marcus. His hands are steady, though his heart pounds. He takes a deep breath. "Your Honor, I don't want revenge. I want my daughter safe. For years, I trusted the system to protect her, and it failed. She ran to me because I am the only person who will stand for her. I'm not perfect. I'm not always calm. But I love her with every part of me. I will fight for her life until the end. And I will ensure she never feels fear again." His words echo in the courtroom. Even Sarah's attorney stops mid-note. Emily watches him, tears streaming, a mixture of relief and disbelief washing over her. The judge leans back, reviewing the files one last time. She sighs, heavy with the weight of responsibility. After reviewing the evidence, testimony, and police reports, it is clear that the minor has been exposed to repeated abuse and danger. The temporary custody of Emily is hereby granted to her father, Marcus Harper. Her mother's visitation rights are suspended pending further investigation, and her father is instructed to ensure her safety above all else. A wave of emotion sweeps over Marcus. He kneels slightly, pulling Emily close into a tight embrace. Emily buries her face in his chest, crying freely for the first time in months. Relief, terror, and love all converge in this one moment. Outside, the sun finally breaks through the clouds. bathing the courthouse in golden light. Back home, Emily walks through her small room, still unpacking some of her belongings. The walls are bare, the room simple, but it is hers. She turns to Marcus, who is sitting on the bed watching her. Dad, this is really mine? Yes, baby. This is your space. Your safe space. No one can touch that. Emily smiles through her tears. I. I'm not scared anymore. Marcus hugs her tightly. I know. And we'll make sure it stays that way. Outside, the neighborhood is calm, peaceful. Marcus sits on the porch with Emily beside him. She leans against his shoulder. The storm that haunted their lives for so long is over, leaving space for healing and rebuilding. For the first time in years, she laughs. A small, genuine sound. Marcus smiles, finally feeling the weight lift off his chest. A week later, Emily starts school again. Marcus walks her to class, holding her hand, protecting her not just physically, but emotionally. Teachers notice her quiet strength and determination, unaware of the storm she survived. At home, they create a routine, simple meals, homework, laughter, and evenings filled with warmth rather than fear. One evening, as they watch the sunset from their porch, Emily looks up at Marcus. Dad, do you think he'll ever understand what he did? Marcus shakes his head softly. Some people never understand. But that's okay. You're free now. That's all that matters. Emily leans her head against his shoulder. Silence, peace, safety, and a life rebuilt from the ashes of fear and betrayal. The camera pans slowly outward from the house. A golden sunset bathes the neighborhood in light. The storm clouds are gone. Inside, Emily and Marcus sit together on the porch swing, hands intertwined, smiling quietly. Their bond stronger than ever. The horrors of the past remain, but the future is theirs to claim.